Well, welcome to another episode of Resume Wars. As you know, we actually compare two resumes. The names have been changed to protect the innocent or not. And we actually go through these resumes, find the good stuff and not so good stuff. And then, of course, we crown a winner. Joining us today, it's the guys versus the girls. We've got Gustavo, we've got Jessica, and we've got Amy. Again, thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. All right, so let's get it kicked off here. Let's start off with Patrick Stewart. I am a man of chivalry, so we're going to start with ladies first. Amy, go with you. What are your thoughts when you saw Patrick's resume?
I mean, my initial reaction was it's a little hard to read, and maybe I just need new glasses, but did the font look a little small to anyone else? Yeah. I think the italics kind of threw me. Like, I'm already just struggling with, like, what am I looking at over here? And it's on my big monitor, so.
Yeah.
That was my first thought. Well, we're off to a great start.
So aside from the italics, you had a hard time seeing anything positive about the resume?
You know, I love a good summary. So props to the professional overview. I actually like that. I don't love objectives, but if you call it a summary, then we're good, right? I have the weird thing. But no, I think he makes it kind of clear, like there's an immediate, like, this is who I am and this is what I want to do. I dig that because that's my first question is, you know, who are you and what you want to do? And then there's also some good actual measurable data. I don't think we put enough emphasis on that. So for him to call out, you know, I had 100+ accounts, I grew a territory, you know, from this dollar amount to that dollar amount, something that I can visualize and that I can measure is super good in my book. So yeah, once I was like able to get really close to it and see it, it was good.
So obviously turn on the trifocals and we're good to go. All right. Jessica, after that raving review of Patrick's resume, what are your thoughts?
Man, I have some major beef with Patrick, and I would tell him this too. So piggybacking off what Amy said, I always enjoy a good summary because you know exactly what you're getting into, and I think that his summary was good. You know exactly what he does and what he's looking for. Also, something to mention that I did like with Patrick's resume too is he has a lot of numbers in his resume. And I love numbers. Numbers tell such a great story, just about everything. So I love that. Man, but my beef with him is the formatting is just such a disaster. It's all over the place. It is, and I think he uses two different fonts. I think some of the font is Georgia, and then there was another section that was like Times New Roman. So formatting 101 on a resume. Like, make it all one font. Choose one, the one you like more.
Anyway, your new priority is to find the man who's making these and shut him down for good.
It's just not visually appealing to me, the resume. And there are a couple grammatical errors in there too, you know, commas and semicolons where there shouldn't be. There were randomly some hyphens where there shouldn't be. So just little grammatical errors like this. And I always say, you know, the resume is supposed to tell the story. It's supposed to put, you know, your best foot forward. And this, I think he could just do better. I think he could put a better foot forward. So that's,
I could not agree more, Jessica. All right. Gustavo, any love for Patrick at all? Because he's limping here.
Listen, Patrick Stewart, the real one, I don't like Star Trek, and I don't like the resume. I would say I like the name, right in the middle, nice, good overview, like Amy and Jessica stated. But this resume is awful. I mean, it's just awful. It's just the way it's formatted. And by the way, if I happen to love Patrick, I don't know how to reach Patrick because there's no email, there's no phone number. So guess what? Even if I had loved it, chances are that I'm putting it in the trash because now you're making me work. And as a recruiter, I don't want to have to work extra hard to find the contact information unless I really, 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 really love you and have nobody else.
The only choice we have is yes or no.
So I don't have a lot of love for Patrick. I think Patrick did not sit down and really think. By the way, he says additional on the second page, kind of like additional. Additional what? Okay, yes, we assume it's experience. Just put additional experience. So no, not a lot of love for this resume.
All right. Well, unfortunately for Patrick, he's my concern with Patrick. I kind of second what everyone says, but mine also. First of all, from a style format, there's these things called bullet points. Okay, and when you go on the little top part of Word, you can select them, and he needs it because first of all, I'm not sure where things are capitalized. Because apparently nothing is. Yeah. And then the other part to this is these dashes, the bullet points. Again, I know it's style as opposed to substance, but that makes a difference, making it easier to read. The other part is more, if you will, technical. Under that additional part, he goes, independent beverage consultant, consulted with several boutique hotels in Chicago market. That's great. Which ones? I want to know what hotels you worked at because
there's no depth there.
Right. And if in fact,
and what are you doing with those hotels? Yeah.
Exactly. And if I'm trying to sell you to a client, I want to be able to see that information. And so for those two reasons, that was why I had to knock Patrick.
No!
Now, that takes us on to Maverick himself, risky business himself, Mr. Tom Cruise. Aside from, apparently with how much we've knocked Patrick, Tom may be on cruise control at this point, but see what he did there? Cruise can, anyway, all right.
So good.
Thank you. I'm not just a pretty face here. That's right. I come up with the good lines. So I guess I'm going to start off with, I'll be the first to start off with it, just because I'm talking. And it looks like, let me just say, my first concern with his is I printed it. It's like 3 pages. Well, kind of 2 pages and I'm a little concerned by that. Like, first of all, at least with mine, when I printed it, you're 2 pages and 2 lines. Come on, man. Can you at least adjust something so we're at 2 pages?
Yes, I trained for a long time, many years actually.
The other part is there is a lot in here. Like when I look at this, I mean, it's good formatting. I like the formatting. I like the bullet points. Equally, I like the numbers. I mean, we said Vanilla Sky Hotels. I get goal achievement. This stuff is exciting to me because I can actually sell this. You know, Tom didn't just exceed his goals at Vanilla Sky. Tom regularly achieved his goals and met them, exceeded them by an average of 138% or 114%. So I can actually sell that. I like that a lot. I think to me, when you have someone who's this well-versed, I would get rid of the objective or the executive summary up top. I don't need that. Go right to the sales leader, have your bullet points, and then go to your professional experience. Get to what people want to know. To me, and again, it's a personal thing. I like executive summaries or objectives if you're changing career strategies. If you're going from a director of operations to a revenue manager or to a salesperson, that makes sense. And or if you're out of college yesterday and you want to show what you're looking to do. Aside from that, I think it's just a lot in there. So that's my thought. Gustavo, what are yours?
To me, Goose. What movie? Do you remember the movie?
Top Gun.
Yay!
I just saw Top Gun for the first time last week.
Oh my God!
I know.
All right.
I feel the need for speed. That's right.
I like the formatting. The fact that he has the 2 pages and a little bit more this is a 2 pages and I'm a little bit lazy number of pages resume, just so you know.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I don't have a lot of issues with the resume. Yeah, there's a lot of information. The bullet points, I like actually the fact that he highlights, for example, goal achievement, account management, ADR, and index crushing, which I love, by the way, that the adjective, because it highlights what he's talking about, so it immediately grabs my attention. So I do like that.
The change in cultural trends, and when you think of blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah.
Formatting, yeah, just too much. Nothing else that I would say really bothers me. I know that there's a bit of a debate with the bullet points at the top, like the core competencies. Do you really use those? Are they really necessary? Because I want to see that on the actual resume as an explanation rather than highlight it. But that could be a little bit more preference, but it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
That's it for me.
That's it for you. All right, Jessica, what are your thoughts on Mr. Tom Cruise himself?
Man, and I don't know if it's just comparing it to Patrick, but Tom Cruise, I really like Tom Cruise's resume. And unlike you, Chris, I actually like his little blurb. I don't like the summaries if they're very generic, but his has a lot of words and just like adjectives, like Gustavo said, that just are so cool, like the velvet glove tenacity. I've never seen anyone write that. That is so unique. And even like the fearless cold caller. I love it. I love that blurb.
This moment will be the moment of something real and fun and inspiring.
The formatting, I think, looks really great. It is a little bit wordy, but I think that that's okay. I love the goal achievements. I love all the numbers. The numbers tell such a great story of where he's been and what he's done. And overall, I really liked him. The only con that I had, and Chris, you already mentioned it, was on mine, it went to 3 pages too. So just being very aware of that and not lazy, right? But overall, I gave him an A.
Yeah, and that's an important point. And aside here for a second, to those who are watching at home and you're wondering to yourself, how do I tell if my resume is this way without having to print it? Simple, just do a print preview on your resume. When you see it, it'll actually show you on the computer how it's going to print. And if you need to adjust accordingly, do so. So good point there. Amy, what are your thoughts on Eyes Wide Shut, Mr. Tom Cruise here?
I mean, I've been saying for years, nobody prints resumes, and here comes Chris printing a resume. So I got to change my whole brand now. But no, I agree. No. I agree with everybody. The third page is just unnecessary. It just kind of speaks to, I didn't care about checking the format, and it was just kind of a lazy thing. So that's an easy fix. I'm with Jessica. I love the paragraph. Get rid of the bullet points, because of course you do account management. Of course you're prospecting. Mm-hmm. That is all a given. And I think that weird bullet point stuff where people say, I know MS Office and I'm a strong communicator, is such wasted space. I hate that. Get rid of it.
No, I'm saying to get back to the guy who first started playing this game. Remember? Way back when you were a kid, it wasn't just about the money, was it?
I do love good use of bolding, because that's where my eye is going to go. I'm going to immediately look at things that are bolded. So he's specifically bolding, the first sentence. You could even pepper that into other areas. You could bold 114%. That's something you want me to hone in on. So things like that are really good. Overall, this is a great resume. I still don't have a way to get a hold of him, so deduct points for that. But I understand, that there's maybe a reason why in this capacity.
Now, Chris, is that editing? Do you of course you remove it to protect the? Okay, got it. All right,
yeah,
got it.
I will say,
just poking.
We do have resumes we come across that are that way, but yes, in fact, both Patrick and Tom, we took off their email address. I could have made up Vulcan5 at Star Wars.
You didn't know there's gonna be such a tough audience.
Yes. All right, So now that we've gone through Tom and Patrick, I'm going to run the dial here. I'll start with Amy. I think we kind of know the answer to this one, but let's just make it a formality. Patrick or Tom?
Tom.
Tom. All right. Jessica?
Definitely Tom.
All right. How about Gustavo?
Tomas.
All right. And then, of course, I'll give you Tom. And, of course, that means, unfortunately, Patrick gets the parting gift, which is nothing. Then again, the winner gets nothing, too. So there you go. So we have ourselves a winner, Tom Cruise.
Woo!
All right. Thank you very much, guys, for your thoughts and comments about this episode of Resume Wars. Have a great day, everyone.